Hi, I'm Sunny Sky, and this is the card we're working on today. This is a very simple fold card. You can still get two out of one sheet of cardstock, and it features one of our retiring Hostess sets, so you need to nab this real quick if you like it. Here are the cardstock sizes you need for today's card, and the green sheet that lines up on the back of the paint chip is going to be whatever matching size that will coordinate with the size paint chip that you get. I've used this size because this is the paint chip I have, and because we need something on the back because the paint chip has some writing on the back that we need to cover up. So here is a full sheet of cardstock cut and scored how we need for two cards. So basically you're going to score in half this way, score in half the opposite way, and then we're going to cut from corner to corner, and this creates two cards. All right, I've got my cardstock in the long way, and I'm going to go to 4 1/4, and I'm going to score the whole card at 4 1/4. Then I'm going to turn it 90 degrees, and I'm going to go to 5 1/2. Okay, so now it's been scored both ways, and now I'm going to cut it from corner to corner, and your cardstock will fit in here corner to corner, even with the guides in place, but you do need to remove your scoring blade so that there's room for your cutting blade to go up the whole length of the cardstock. So you're just going to position that corner right in the cutting line, and the other one as well. Let me go ahead and put my scoring blade back in here so that I don't forget to do that. And there's a little place in here where it widens up just a bit, and I'm just pulling them apart with my fingers a little bit to make it fit in there more easily. All right, now we've got two cards. We're only going to make one today. So if you go like this and like this, then you've got your finished card. Now, you've got your designer series paper. This also is cut on the diagonal. This one you definitely need to watch how your card is going together, especially if you have a paper that is right side up or upside down. Like this side has the flowers and you need them to be right side up. And these plants kind of want them to be right side up as well. So again, you're just going to cut diagonally. So I'm going to hold it over my card and say my card is going like that. Or do I want my card to go like this? If I want my card to go like this, hold it again and just kind of remind yourself which diagonal you're doing. Again, just line up the tips in your cutting track. And if you pull from the center out, it will prevent any sort of smushing of the edges. And because I had it in one place, I still was able to cut a smooth cut. It looks like I need to put a new blade in my cutter soon. And I would do that just the same as how I replaced the scoring blade. I would just widen the cutting track a little bit to fit in my new cutting blade. All right, and we're going to adhere this. You've got this little corner here, so you want to kind of make sure you've got some adhesive in the corners so that it doesn't come up on the edges there. Now, I lined this paper up right on the score line here. You know, a lot of times when we are putting in our papers, we're centering them around all the edges, but because this is going to be two pieces that are going to go together, I'm not putting a space of the yellow showing behind it. So we're using a Hostess stamp set for this card, and we're using the Stamparatus. So I just thought I would show you how to change out the plate and set the stamp in motion. You're going to lift the plate at a 90-degree angle straight up out of there to put a new one in or to move it. And this has grids on it. So one side the grid is textured and you can feel it, and the other side it's smooth. You want your stamp to be on the smooth side. So when you're putting in a new plate, you're just going to have it at a 90-degree angle, straight up and down. And we used that one stamp image from the Hostess set, but I'm going to pick a different one this time. I'm going to lay my paint chip right in the corner here. Oh, and the Stamparatus comes with a foam mat. So when we're using the photopolymer stamps, because they don't have that extra layer of foam that the rubber stamps come with, and it raises it up, we're going to add that foam pad. And then I've just added the little grid paper on there. And I'm going to put that right in the corner, put the paint chip right in the corner. I'm going to lay my stamp, this is the image side, flat side up. I'm going to lay my stamp right where I'm going to want it on this paint chip. And then if I'm making multiples, I'll end up with all of them in the same place. And once I've got it where I want it, and remember I'm having it up a little bit up towards the top because I've got room for the ribbon down there near the bottom. And then I'll just move the plate over it, press it in place, and now it is attached to the plate. And then if I was making a bunch of these cards, after I stamp one, I can take this out and put the next paint chip in place, re-ink, and go again. So we are going to emboss this image in black on the paint chip. The paint chips that I got are not porous. They've got a smooth texture, and I want to make sure that my ink doesn't smear. And embossing also gives a little extra dimension to the image. So I've just used my embossing buddy. And that's just to get rid of any static or fingerprints so that the powder will only stick where I want it to. Added my Versamark Invisible Sticky Ink to the stamp image. Press down thoroughly, and because part of this image is near the edge of the Stamparatus, I just want to press a little extra to make sure I got good coverage there. And now you can see the image, and then we'll just add our powder and heat emboss it. Okay, we're going to add some powder over here. It's only going to stick to where the ink is, and there are some flakes, so if you just flick it, you get rid of most of those. And also, if you keep in your toolkit a little paintbrush, you can get rid of any stubborn pieces. And when I'm using black powder on a pale cardstock, I definitely want to get rid of the stubborn pieces. Okay, I have heat embossed this image, and now I'm going to put adhesive on the back of it. And we're going to put it on the card, but remember, part of it is sticking up over the edge of the card. So we've got this other piece of coordinating cardstock that's going to go on the back side. I'm going to put some adhesive on that. But because this is going to, when I lay this down, part of that adhesive is probably over here. I'm putting my silicone mat so that it will not stick to my table. And that adhesive is in the way, right? We need to have that not visible. But now, if I take this image, and I'm going to kind of line it up. Oh, and I forgot I have to watch where the adhesive is on that image too. Because this particular paint chip is not straight at the top. But this is fresh snail, and I can just pull it down. I do want some up near the center. Okay. And then I'll just line it up. I'm just going to press gently because I want to go on the back and make sure that it looks straight on the back too, and it does. So now I can go ahead and get all that adhesive down. So we've basically got a sandwich. We've got our paint chip on the front side and our green image on the back. I pulled my greeting from this stamp set that is retiring, the Beautiful You, and so it has more images than this. I've just got the one case with the greetings that I pulled out for this card. We're using Mossy Meadow to stamp our greeting. Use a coordinating yellow cardstock. And we're going to make this a Get Well or Sympathy card. Stamp my greeting right down here in the Mossy Meadow. Take my oval punch. This is 2 by 1 3/8 inch oval punch. And I've marked with the Sharpie kind of the centers of the oval. And then if I line those up kind of on either side of the writing That's at the top of the R. That's at the top of the R. Close enough. You're never entirely sure when you're working with an oval. Then I've just got a little bit of stamping sponge. I'm going to just put that in the ink. And ink around the edges a little bit to add a little coloring contrast. Now, since I've added this contrasting green, I could put that right on the yellow, or I could put it down here on the green. And I'm going to do it flat. Since it's on the inside of the card, I'm not going to pop it up. I think I'll put it up near the top of this. And then there's plenty of space to write a nice little note. And then we also have some ribbon here that's retiring. And we're just going to do a nice little knot on the front of this card. So if you just tie it into a knot while it's still on the spool. Let me get my ribbon scissors. Then we don't have any extra on the ends. On either end, we're not wasting any of our sweet ribbon. And then we just need a glue dot to attach. This is a little bit thicker ribbon, so I think maybe I'll put 2 glue dots. So let me decide which side of the knot is prettier, and I think that's prettier. I'm going to twist the ribbon a little there. There we go. So I'm going to put glue dots on the back, and I'm going to go ahead and put 2 glue dots on there, just because it's a little bit thicker ribbon, just to make sure that it's good and secure there. And you could put the ribbon right over that little hole there. I'm going to put it, I think, at the sort of as if it's wrapped around the little grassy texture there. So that's our card for today. So thanks for joining me, and go have some fun crafting.